Hi everybody, it's me again, and I thought we'd have another, continue on our little quest to analyze Edvard Grieg's Morning Mood. So basically, last week we um, completed the look at the score from like a kind of melodic perspective, if you like, how the sort of melody and phrases were sort of suggesting a structural ordering, a form, something like that. If I can just pull that up actually quickly. As you can see, we started zoom in a touch. We marked it up obviously with some other additional information as well, but obviously theme one, and that's the first iteration of theme one. Then it repeats. Although there is slight variations, there's probably some more nuance to the melody. If we were to take a closer look, probably some kind of period form. If we were to ascribe a form to it like that, certainly there's a repetition of this fret fragment here in the oboe there. And then, to be fair, the second part's very similar as well, but there's a slight alteration here to get the transposition, modulation rather, into this key of G sharp. Sort of transitions us into that. But anyway, I thought today that would try and start getting a picture of what this piece looks like from the perspective of our score reading, our score analysis of the piece. So I thought we'd try and start getting it into a table, and I'll just go through the process of doing that. Absolutely cutting edge, thrilling content. But basically, for these kind of tabular analyses, as I like to call them, when I'm breaking down a piece in this manner, like structurally, I'll work downwards, so the bars will progress downwards. Section label. Could start adding things like this. Add more columns as we go. Add subsection label. Melody. Although we're going to start with this column here, and then we'll probably add more things like tonality / harmony later, which might cause us to alter the table slightly, and then details, or could add orchestration. I'll put details, orchestration, which we might go into as well. But like I said, we've done the melody, so that's what we're going to use for our today, building our tabular analysis. Obviously, bar one, and actually, I suppose we'll make this a bit more kind of presentable. Maybe make this slightly larger as well, because we're a bit more headline. If I put space, I should get that out. There we go. Subsection label probably need to be that big, but anyway, we've got bar one. We have one there, which is the coding that we've been using. In the past, I've used other means. I was sort of testing this one out with this 1-1, which looks quite promising actually, because sometimes it can get a bit confusing as you start developing like you ascribe a number and a letter or something, or a system you go with, and eventually figure out like actually there's another melody or something that you missed and you need to add it in or something, and it causes mayhem with your labeling and stuff. This looks quite promising actually, so I wish I'd thought of it sooner. Obviously, we've got 1, 2, and this is where the bar numbering that we did initially is quite handy. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, bar 5. Our table will probably look fairly straightforward after today, because obviously we've only just done melody, although we should be able to ascribe some form and structure to it. I think that's right. 6, 7, 8, 9 there, yeah. is a key change. We could put these changes in actually, because they might be helpful. G sharp, we think. But we will do a more detailed harmonic analysis, looking at the chords, see if there's any more kind of nuanced information we could add. And I say that's E major. Merge that together. Right when they're in the center. Where were we? T1, 3. Hopefully we should get through all of this today. 1, 4. But one frag. Oh no, this is where chaos ensues. I should have actually numbered that, I think. Although one frag probably does, we could probably put one frag A if there's another fragmented idea later, which is different and not the same. And that was bar 13 there, actually, quickly. 13, 14, 15, 16, 16, 17, I think. Just don't look at that harmony there. It starts on G sharp, but obviously cadence there. Yeah, I'll need to have a look at that, but for definite, to confirm the harmony. We'll probably use like Roman numerals, something like that. Well, actually, I like to often put chord symbols in first and then derive function from the labeling. Add transition here. Feel like I'm going to definitely want a separate one for additional details and orchestration. But there are different approaches I can take to orchestration as well, which we might explore. 2021, 22, 23, 24. 28, 29. At 29, we get a 2, 1. So based on that, we could start as well having so we did talk about this potentially being, a ternary form. And we might not need this subsection label if we might use it, I suppose, to sort of suggest this kind of harmonic label, these harmonic changes. I think it goes back to E, doesn't it? Actually looking. So we might use this column later, but for now, if we just label up as best we can always refine this as we find out more details. It's just to give us an overarching view of what this piece looks like. And that might help guide other observations and things. And you want to zoom bars getting in the way up there. It's invisible to you, I think, but it was in my way. T21. 2. Again, there could be a bit more nuance to the structure of this middle melody. Although it looks a bit more, whereas I said the other one was period form and it had the 2 sections and the repeating phrases or cells within that larger melody. This one looks a bit more flowing, if that makes sense. It's sort of, how many bars is it? About 8 bars. Structure of it looks slightly different, which we'll look at. And that could change our analysis slightly, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. 4, 5, 5, 6, 7. So 8-bar phrase it. I'm relying on my labeling here to fill out this form, this Go for 5. I'll kind of sort of transition back into our return to this. I just put that from the C as the question mark, just add those details. Some of these details will probably change out for the final thing. If you're wondering why I like to create these tables, I just like to gain a picture of structure and things. I think from a compositional perspective, for me personally, understanding these larger structures helps, because often if I'm writing, say, quickly, having these structures to fall back on or mix and match with is quite a handy way of sort of laying out, in some ways, a creative constraint, I guess, building towards like composing within a certain structure. And often these structures are quite nice and simple to roll out for compositions like in video game scores and things quite quickly. 52, 53, 54, 55. 8. 3 over B. So like I say, some of this stuff might change as we move onwards. And I've actually put 1/9 fragment here, so that's annoying. Messes with our earlier frag here. Should have called that 1/5 frag and that 1/6. But yeah, there we go. 2/9, I think that. 10. 62, 63. Got some other details that could be worth adding. I suppose subsection label could prove handy here for just this ending in a second. So we get 69 to T111. I've put static resting head into end. So it's something to debate where the actual close is. I'd write close there, actually. Well, there could be a case for sort of saying this is some kind of coda or something that just occurs at the end to round us off after the return of the A section. That's something we could add in. 111 there. 111 frag. Cheers to that. I'm seeing it as a 111 frag. Fragmented. 112 there. Oh, that's frag as well. It's quite a short fragment because I think it's. I don't need to put the black brackets around that. Yeah, we might reassess. Is that right? Yeah, that is right. Well, I've broken this up a bit more than this one. I think it's because they're starting phrases. Anyway, like I said, these sort of things we can adjust to 78. 2, 1, 12. Oh, hang on. Yeah, that's right. And then 2, 1, 13. Frag. 80. What's that? 82. Close. Could add 86 finish, I guess. So we have an idea of how long the actual piece is. I don't normally do that. So then what I like to do is try and get some grid lines in, because it's sort of been able to see how, like, especially as we start to fill these other things out, you can see how, like, things overlap and how certain things are changing, like the harmony. I suppose texture is something we could add as well. But we see how the melody might remain the same. There might be the same repetitions of the melodies we've got here, but he's changing other aspects of the composition. So you get these, like, as I say, if I merge cells together, you start to see these blocks emerge, kind of brickwork of the piece, which is why I like these tabular analysis. I think what sold me on it is actually there's a great, I've got it on my shelf somewhere actually, in a Michael Tippett book by Ian Kemp. It's like his big kind of biography and look at Tippett's work, and he breaks down some of the pieces, and one of them in that is the second piano sonata. And I just love the way he'd broken it down. So I've been sold on these kind of analysis since reading that. Might be able to find it actually. Do I want to do that? I'll not do it now. Might another day. So we've got that in. It's been quite a short snippet this morning, just getting this into a table. Just trying to think if there's anything else we could do. I don't think I want to start the harmony analysis now, because try and do that in a separate video, see how far we get. So that'll do. A nice short one there, just starting to get an idea of the structure. As I say, we think it's ternary form. Pretty confident it's ternary form in it. I think we could hear that in the actual, just listening to the piece. It's quite a relaxing, straightforward composition, structurally and formally. So yeah, thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you again next week, where we'll hopefully start looking at possibly harmony, unless I decide it's worth taking a closer look at melody. But yeah, thanks.